Hey everybody, it's Jared Miller with Big Mill Motorsports here. Had an opportunity. I'm going to be changing the jets in the carburetor, and so I thought maybe I'd take a video of it so that you guys can see what all that takes. So we will start by coming over to the car, and as you can see, there's 4 screws, or 4 essentially kind of like hose clamps. One for each of the carbs. I've already taken my flexi tool here and loosened them all up. The next thing I'm going to do is I've got my air filters zip tied on there just because I don't want them falling off. I'll cut those, take my air filters off. Then I need to take my fuel hose off. Alright everybody, sorry about that. Battery of my GoPro died, so I had to plug it in, and I got an extension cord and all that kind of stuff. Either way, we'll continue on. We're going to do the changing the jets of the carbs. So I've got the tripod set up here. I can't get it too much closer, but you'll get the idea of what I'm doing here. So to recap, I've already removed or loosened the 4 kind of hose clamps there. Now I'm going to take off the air filters. Alright, so now that those are off, I need to take off the hose clamp here for the fuel line. I do have a drain pan sitting underneath the car right now so that I can just run this right down into the drain pan without having to worry about getting fuel all over the place. So now I've got the throttle cable here. Let me see if I can get you at least a closer look at that. Alright, so what you can see is it's essentially a threaded rod here with a nut on the bottom and a nut on the top. Now, since I already have all of this adjusted, my goal here is to, oh, sorry about this, I'm trying to hold the whole tripod sideways here. My goal is to only loosen the top nut. That way when I go to put it back, I can put it back and have it at the same throttle position. So we'll see how good of a job I do at that. Oh. If I don't drop everything that I'm working on here. Alright, so I got my wrench out here. I'm just going to loosen the top. Alright, so now comes the fun part. We will pop the carburetors off here. Peel them back a little bit. Make sure I'm leaking fuel all over the place. Pop out the little nub there, and we'll take it over to the workbench. Alright, I've got a extra rag here. So I've got the carburetors upside down. You can see there's the top. Flip them upside down. This is what you're going to take off. And there will be 4 screws. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. So we will start here. And there's probably fuel in there. And there was. So I've got a gasket here. Check your gasket, make sure it's in good condition. I actually had my carbs rebuilt just before the off season here by Tri-Performance. Jim McLean at Tri-Performance does a fantastic job. Gives you all the extra jets that you need in order to change between jets based on temperature or conditions. Plus he offers a lot of help when you just have questions. Alright, so while I'm not going to actually tell you what my jets are and what I'm changing to because I can't give away all my secrets, this is the jet right here. I have my 4 replacement jets right here. So I'm gonna set these over here to where I don't forget them or get them mixed up really. So I essentially just take this with a screwdriver and gently loosen it and pull it out. So there you can see jet pulled out. So then I will put the replacement jet in. Now one of the things to think is that this piece that it threads into actually floats in there. And you can, I thought you could hold it with your finger. We'll see. Yeah, so you can stick your finger in there and hold it up. It's a little kind of a larger piece of the rod that's down in there. You could stick your finger on there and hold it. So there, don't tighten it down too much. And there, I changed the jet. So now I just will put back the bowl on here. And then tighten all 4 screws down. Not too tight. Whatever that means. Tighten them down, but not too tight. Alright. So there I've changed the jet in that carb. Now I've got 3 more to go. I'm not changing needles. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to change needles, so don't ask. I do think that in general, the warmer the ambient temperature, the lower the jet size. So I'm coming up to the summer here, or I'm in the summer and it's getting hot. I am decreasing my jet size. So it might be a general rule of thumb. I don't know. I'm not a carb guy. That's why I use Jim McLean at Tri-Performance, because I don't know what I'm doing. Well, most of the time. So anyway, I will go ahead and do these next 3 jets. All right, Well, now I've got all jets changed here. Just need to put the carbs back on the car. So I will move the camera over to the car and we'll get that rolling. All right, so we're here. Pretty much the reverse process of going in, going in is taken off. I do have a couple of tricks of the trade here, if I can call them that, and it's my El Cheapo heat gun. So one of the things is that some of us have really old engines or old parts. The rubber here gets a little bit harder over time, as well as the rubber on some of these air filters aren't so good. So I will literally heat the rubber up a little bit, and doing that just makes this go on easier. I'll do this for both the engine side or the intake side as well as the air filter side. Really just kind of get him loosened up a little bit. I don't want to use any lubricants, obviously, because I want the carburetors to stay in there. So we'll hit a little bit here with the heat gun. All right. So we will take, notice I've moved the throttle cable over here. Need to install the throttle cable. Should have done this before I did the heat gun there, didn't I? Shouldn't I? Well, there we go. Got that in there. And we just push them in. And you can see they kind of go on pretty smooth right there. I will now put my throttle cable back on here, and assuming I didn't accidentally adjust that bottom nut, should just be able to tighten this top nut down. Just the throttle cable here. Works good. Now we will do the throttle or the carburetor, I guess, inlet things. And one of the things that I found, went online, I don't know, somewhere, and found this flexible end that's got a 1/4-inch socket drive, and then a little Allen with a ball. And I've actually switched out all of these. Some of them come with Allen screws, some of them come with a Phillips screw. I like the Allen screws because it allows me to use this and it doesn't strip out very easily. So I will just now come through here. And tighten these up. Alright. Yeah, pretty much, I'm not sure that you can over tighten these. So I tighten them all the way down until the two halves touch. So I will tighten the rest of these here. All right, so that's good. Carbs are in there really tight. I will tell you a little secret. I guess it's a bad secret if you want to say it that way. I once forgot to tighten all 4 of those. And I think I maybe actually ran 2 or 3 races without realizing it. So, but you do want to make sure you tighten those down, not only just so your carbs don't come off, but you don't want any vacuum leaks on the backside there. It'll obviously mess up your air-fuel ratio. So now I've got my air cleaners, and I'm going to do the same thing with the heat gun. Don't want to heat my hand. You know what? I forgot to put the fuel line back on. So we'll go ahead and put the fuel line on here. It would make it very difficult to operate. Alright, let's do this the right way. I think I want the fuel line to go under that overflow hose, just as a matter of cleanliness here. Alright, now I am going to turn on the car. I'm not going to run it yet, but I'm going to just turn it on so that the fuel pump kicks on to make sure I don't have any leaks. And we're pretty good there, so I'm going to try to fire it up. No leaks, we're good to go. So now that I verified that, I actually am going to do the last step here, or second to last step, put the air filters on. Don't have to get them very hot. All right. Alright, that's on there pretty good. Put back on. I've got these air filter covers for when I run on dirt here. They actually help out a lot on asphalt too. You just get a lot of debris. Alright, so one other thing I'm going to do, and I did this the first year I was racing, but didn't really do it for the last 7 years until now I'm on dirt, and that is I am going to zip tie the air filter on. And I'm going to do that because racing on dirt so far seems to be a lot more rough than on asphalt. So I really don't want to lose an air filter here. Alright, so then I'll heat up the second one. And it slips right on. So one of the other things that heating it up does, when you buy these air filters new, or when you wash them and re-oil them, you almost inevitably have some oil on that inner surface that seals to the carburetor. And if I had $1 for every time I would tighten these clamps, and it would literally just push the filter right off the carbs. I usually take like a degreaser to the inside of that, clean it off, and then once you heat it up, it kind of helps get some of that off too. But you can see these air filters are on there pretty tight. I will put the zip tie on here. All right, and there we go. So I don't know how long that took. According to the clock on the camera, I don't think it took too long at all. So got the jets changed. I'm ready to go for warmer weather right now, and we'll be racing this Saturday. All right, thanks for watching. If you have any comments, ideas on something I did wrong or maybe do better next time, or anything like that, just give me a shout out in the comment section. All right, thanks for watching.